The decline of empires is often felt long before it's acknowledged. But what if I told you we're living through a moment of seismic change? From the quiet dismantling of bus stations to economic shifts in global powerhouses, we're witnessing the signs of an empire in retreat. Today we're breaking down the undeniable indicators of the United States' declining influence. Stick around for point number 6. It's the one most people don't want to face. Public infrastructure. Neglect. Let's start with something seemingly mundane. Bus stations. Did you know that over 60 million Americans rely on inner-city buses each year? Yet across the country, bus stations are disappearing. Why? Real estate developers find it more profitable to turn these downtown hubs into luxury condos or malls. Meanwhile, working-class Americans are left waiting for buses on streets, without benches, vending machines, or shelter. This shift illustrates how the focus has moved from serving the majority to catering exclusively to the wealthiest. The decline of accessible infrastructure is a hallmark of an empire no longer prioritizing its people. The misjudged war in Ukraine. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the US and its allies confidently imposed sanctions, expecting the Russian economy to crumble. Predictions of a collapsing ruble and a fragmented Russia flooded the headlines. But none of this came to pass. Instead, Russia pivoted eastward, forging stronger economic ties with China and India. The sanctions didn't bring Russia to its knees. They bolstered the BRICS alliance, positioning China as the world's leading automobile exporter. Missteps in foreign policy reveal cracks in the once unquestionable dominance of the US empire. Inflation and global trade challenges. Recent conflicts in Yemen and the resulting instability in the Red Sea have forced shipping companies to reroute their vessels. Instead of passing through the Suez Canal, ships are taking the longer, more expensive route around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. This increases fuel costs and shipping times, driving up prices globally. For the US, this means rising inflation and higher costs for everyday goods. Escalating conflicts abroad are directly impacting the wallets of American consumers, signaling a shift in global economic balance. The rise of BRICS, the BRICS alliance, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, now represents a larger share of global GDP than the US and its G7 allies. What's more, countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Iran are aligning themselves with BRICS, signaling a global shift in economic power. This realignment means fewer nations automatically look to Washington for trade and investment, opting, instead, for Beijing or New Delhi. The dominance of the US in global economics is fading as emerging powers consolidate their influence. The Boeing Fiasco, once the crown jewel of American manufacturing, Boeing is now plagued by safety issues and declining market share. Years of technical problems with its 737 MAX have tarnished its reputation. Meanwhile, Airbus remains a trusted competitor, and a new contender is entering the fray: China's state-backed aircraft manufacturer. With rising demand for safer, more reliable options, Chinese aviation is poised to challenge Boeing's dominance. A declining manufacturing sector underscores the waning industrial leadership of the US. The disappearance of the middle class. Once American investors built their fortunes by serving a robust middle class. Today, the focus has shifted to the ultra-wealthy and overseas markets. The hollowing out of America's economic heart, its middle class, isn't just an economic concern. It's a societal one. The wealth gap is growing, and with it, the foundation of the American dream is eroding. An empire that fails to sustain its middle class is one in decline. Strikes and social unrest in allies like Britain. The US isn't alone in its struggles. Its closest ally, Britain, has been grappling with a record number of strikes by junior doctors, who have seen their real wages decline by 26%. Britain's challenges are a cautionary tale for the US, showcasing the long-term consequences of economic mismanagement and social discontent. The struggles of allied nations mirror the challenges facing the US, offering a glimpse into its potential future. Israel's strategic dilemma. As the global balance of power shifts, even close US allies like Israel face tough decisions. While the world increasingly looks eastward, Israel's alignment with a declining US risks isolating it from emerging economic powerhouses like China and the BRICS nations. This misalignment could have profound political and economic repercussions. The shifting alliances of U.S. partners highlight the diminishing influence of the American empire. Empires rise and fall, but the signs are always there for those willing to see them. From the decline of public infrastructure to the rise of global competitors, the evidence is clear. The U.S. is navigating uncharted waters, but understanding these changes is the first step toward adapting to them. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, we can explore what these shifts mean for our financial futures and the world at large. If you find this content valuable, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest in finance and global trends. Share your thoughts in the comments below.